Billionaire investor Warren Buffett is being called the true face of abortion. That's because he gave $1.2 billion to abortion groups around the world. That's potentially enough money to abort the entire city of Chicago, or more than 2.5 million lives. He gave the money between 2001 and 2012. The Media Research Center reports the major media have ignored Buffett's billion-dollar abortion funding. MRC Vice President Dan Gaynor said the liberal media love two things unconditionally: abortion and Warren Buffett. Although I suppose it's really one thing they love, because according to our research, abortion and Warren Buffett are synonymous. Joining us now with more is Kristen Hawkins of Students for Life. Kristen, were you surprised by this report about Warren Buffett? There hasn't been any media coverage about it, has there?
No, there really hasn't. You know, for years in the pro-life movement, we've talked about what is Warren Buffett's real involvement with abortion. We knew his foundation was pro-abortion, but we really didn't know the extent of his dedication to the abortion movement until this report came out.
And what do you think his motivation or reason for being so incredibly pro-abortion?
Well, I think it's this old school myth of the world is overpopulated. You know, that myth that was popular in the 1970s, which demographers have already proven is an invalid concern. And that's where his support for abortion started. He, you know, his own biographer had said he has this Malthusian, he's obsessed with overpopulation, is concerned about what does overpopulation mean for the world. And so he learned about abortion, and one of his partners at Berkshire Hathaway actually credits himself for getting Warren Buffett into the abortion movement. So I think he saw abortion as this solution to this fear that he has had about overpopulation for years.
Well, with Buffett giving more than $1 billion for abortion, why do liberals like President Obama still insist on giving millions of taxpayer dollars to Planned Parenthood?
That's a great question, and that's a question that each and every one of us needs to ask our House of Representatives member and our senators, because this is a major problem. Planned Parenthood received over $300 million from the Buffett Foundation in the past 11 years, yet they're receiving over $500 million of our taxpayer dollars every year. And as a nonprofit, they're making a profit of hundreds of millions of dollars a year. Clearly, our taxpayer funds are not needed for this abortion organization.
Definitely. Well, is there any way to counteract this massive financial pro-abortion influence of Buffett?
Well, I think there's a few things that we can do. We can start talking about this. We can demand that the media address this factor, just like with the Kermit Gosnell trial last year, where no one really wanted to talk about Kermit Gosnell and his Philadelphia House of Horrors. I think the other thing we can do is call our representatives here in Washington, D.C., and encourage them to defund the abortion industry. Warren Buffett has funded over 2.7 million abortions with his $1.2 billion in the past 11 years. That is a genocide of people. There is no reason that taxpayers should be further funding this. And we need to be asking other philanthropists to get involved, to counteract Warren Buffett's moves, because he is a dedicated abortion supporter. Nothing is going to stop him from putting his money into this solution where he thinks is going to limit the world's population.
Absolutely incredible. Kristen Hawkins, Students for Life, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.